we'll actually work with them on a one-to-one basis. So what that does, it brings out a better quality project to the space, and which is as new and young as Cronos is, we think this is what it needs. Kind of getting away from just the average pump and dumps, no utilities, rewards. I mean, we want to bring quality projects to the space. And that just our native token to be Cronos. We'll actually be cross-chain from launch. We'll be able to launch BSC, Ethereum, Polygon, and Cronos. And then, of course, moving to other blockchains as soon as we possibly can. We're looking the next month to be looking at Solana, AVAX, and whatnot after that. A little breakdown, I guess, of us. I personally have been in crypto since 2000, about 12 or 13. Managed a few projects. I've been in mod and admin. That's how all of us, our team met, actually, was as admin and mods in a project last spring. So we've all worked together in multiple projects over the last year, and finally decided to just move forward and bring a quality project and a safer project to the space.
So, Savage, have you made projects before, you said?
No, I haven't launched any. I've managed, I've been involved in projects, but no, this is our first token launch for anybody in the team.
Okay, and how do you guys know each other, by the way? Because I can tell, Shadow's from the UK.
Well,
by voice.
Yeah. And we're spread out, actually. We've got UK, Croatia, Canada, Germany. We're spread out. We've actually got people from everywhere. And we met, like I was saying, we all worked together probably last May, working in a large BSC project. It's still around now, but we left that project and pretty much put our own team together and was managing another project. We did extremely well in launch, but the devs, we didn't kind of see eye to eye, and they didn't take as much of our advice. We managed it because they didn't speak very good English, so we handled the front end and tried to help them grow, but it just didn't work out, so we left, and that's when we decided, well, we were already working on our project. When we left, we just moved up a little quicker on what we were going to do.
Okay, that's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, was this project Milky Way? Because I know Brockvar from Milky Way as well.
Yeah,
I see him in this project as well.
Yeah, we actually were brought on. Yep, we were actually brought on from the Milky Way dev team to manage the front end of it, and to help them with back end with management. But I mean, we took it to 40x almost at launch. But then, like I said, we weren't in control of anything that happened after that. When it came to the processes we set in line to vet projects that were launched, just the way announcements were done. So we didn't have control of the community the way we should have, which caused chaos in that project. So we ended up leaving. And I still hold a bag there. It's kind of funny. There's quite a few of us do. We never got paid. Our tokens mine were locked from day one, and they're still locked, and we can't even get them out. So we were accused of dumping on the project. We never did. We still hold our bags that we'll never be able to get out.
Well, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, and it is what it is. Honestly, personally, I didn't go into it as looking to make any money off of it. I was going in more for just to see how some people were working the backside of these launch pads, and how, because like I said, we already had the idea of running our project and bringing it forward as a launch pad. So it was more of the experience of seeing how some devs dealt with back end work and how they did their process of bringing projects out. So it was a good experience.
Yeah. So I guess you got experience because Milky Way was a launch pad as well, if I'm correct.
Yes. But they weren't a full launch pad. So an actual launch pad should offer liquidity locking, should offer team wallet lockings, I mean, there's a lot more to a launch pad than just bringing out a true IDO launch pad than just, say, Milky, for example. They classified themselves as a launch pad, but to be honest, they're more of a glorified venture capitalist. They just collected money from the funds for projects and then dispersed the tokens. So there's truly a lot more involved in being a real launch pad than just launching tokens or launching projects.
So what, are you going to be different from Pink Soul on the BSC space? Is there any difference from that?
And again, overall, we're going to be completely different than Pink Cell, DSL, Unicrypt. We have a lot, I guess you would say, a harder requirements to be on our pad. Plus, we're not worried about launching 100 tokens in a week. We'll have the opportunity for pre-sales for projects to use, but that's not what we're doing to promote. We're focusing on a true IDO launchpad. So that's generally multiple rounds and dealing with other authentic pads. And if a true IDO launchpad actually does what I was saying, incubating a process, and that's working hand in hand with the projects you bring out through marketing, helping them with their tokenomics, taxes, any of this to make them thrive and be better at what they are.
Yeah, that sounds good, because what Pink Soul do, they just let any project come and pay them, and then they just let it dump on all the investors. But you guys can actually vet in the project, actually checking safety.
The requirements are nothing. I mean, all you got to do is bring a contract, and again, that's their business model. It is what it is. They do bring good projects as long as with the bad. We're trying to minimize the amount of bad by actually creating a harder process. As it is set up there as a pre-sale platform, you could copy and paste any code off of GitHub, come to their platform. You could use someone else's ID. There's no way to verify that's truly whose ID is being used, or if that's really the deployer of the contract. These are all things we're going to remove. I want to be able to call somebody at 3 a.m. and whoever information I have and know that's who it is. You know what I mean? I want to have a voice call or video call and verify that's who I'm really dealing with. So that's the level. Idea. Yeah, I mean, that's the level of what we're doing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They won't be on our pad without a video call and actually seeing real ID, seeing if they have the knowledge of the code that they're using, the project. Like I said, it's not going to be where anyone and everyone can just come over here, because it's already happening on Cronos. But that's what a pre-sale launchpad is. So there's a difference between an IDO launchpad and a pre-sale launchpad. A pre-sale launchpad is generally you launch your pre-sale. It's 10 minutes or however long, an hour till it fills, and then they automatically launch. With an IDO, it's usually multiple stages. And more marketing's done. It's brought to not just the community of that launchpad, but it's brought out to the community in general. So it's just not you create a contract 10 minutes later it's launched. That's not how IDO launchpads work.
So how come you decided to launch on Cronos and not on another platform?
Well, honestly, because in our minds, and if you look at Cronos, the level they're in, the stage they're in, they're still beta. All right. So it's like being in the BSC 2 years ago.
Yeah. But also like Cardano's coming up next month, right, as well?
Well, and because Sushi Swap actually just launched. Now, our native token, like I said, will be on Cronos, but our utility will be cross-chain. So we will we'll be able to adapt the Cardano, the 88 contract into where we'll be able to launch a Cardano project. But like I said, we thought the best place to actually have our token is on Cronos, because as Cronos grows, that means the project grows. You have I shared a graph in our chat the other day. If Cronos' market cap was to go to the same market cap as BSC's right now, which is very easily done because of the mainstream push they're doing across the country, just across the world, all the mainstream advertising. that would put the value of their token at around $2.75, I think. If it was to achieve the market cap of Ethereum as it sits today, that would put that token's value at about $15. Dude, that's massive compared to what is now. You actually have the amount of money you invest in Cronos, you have a better opportunity and chance of X's than you would with BSC.
Yeah, of course.
So as that Cronos, as that blockchain grows and as it goes up in value, that means our project goes up in value. That means the tokens you're holding goes up in value. It's a win-win when it comes to growth.
Yeah. And that will help people to hold longer term as well, because there's more potential.
Right. Well, and then you got with crypto.com being their leading marketplace, so as in their sex, they're doing a lot when it comes to mainstream adoption, not just their advertising and their marketing, but even regulation when it comes along. I believe they'll probably be the first ones that truly deal with any regulations. Yeah, you see other CEXs, I mean, Binance, for example, they're constantly running into issues in other countries. We're not seeing that with crypto.com. So as long as they stay on the path they're on, I see them being more viable and a longer standing backer as a blockchain.
Yeah, that's a good point you raised.
So, are you guys planning to launch the project on CrowFi or on your own launchpad?
Well, we are doing, like I said, right now we haven't announced. We'll do the final public IDO on our pad. Our utility will be done. It's actually in development right now. We had another meeting this morning, our front end, all of our UI and UX with our website, because we have a completely new website coming in, replacing the one we have, which is the utilitized website. We had another meeting this morning dealing with the UI on it, wrapping it up. So our final pre-sale will be on our website, so we won't have to launch off someone else.
Okay.
We are considering taking a part of our private sale and going to another pad just to put ourselves out there, so people, and just to grow a holder count. Because like I said, we've got plenty of time till we launch. We're not in a rush. We're not hurrying. We're checking all the boxes. We're doing everything right. Because our face is on the project. My whole team, I mean, we're publicly doxxed.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, if you check out our website, you'll see all of our faces there. We just did our podcast, was launched last week on our YouTube channel. So again, you can see our team there. So we have to do things right because we're accountable. We're also registering as a business. I mean, we're going for the long term. So that's why we're not in any gallop or rush to do it.
Yeah, makes sense.
You want me to break down some of the features we're doing?
Hello, sorry.
I said, you want me to tell you about some of the features and whatnot we're going to have on the utility?
Yeah, go on.
All right. Well, like I was saying, we'll have the ability to lock the liquidity of projects we launch. So what that does, and not only that, but their team wallets, any of those other wallets, if they're locked on our site, that gives us a little more security instead of going and taking them, lock them somewhere else. So we have a little more control of the quality of what's coming out. And that takes away some of that ease and questions of rug pulls and whatnot, because they won't have tokens available to them. Also, we will be doing a lottery system instead of a tier system. So the lottery system will give, say, a small bag holder the same opportunity to participate in the IDO or pre-sale as a whale. So it makes it more fair. And we'll break down those mechanics here later and share with all the community so everybody can understand them easier. But like I said, what it does, it gives the same allocation to a minimal bag holder than it does to a whale. So everybody has, it's just fair instead of the top tier guys being the only ones that can get involved. That really hurts new investors. I mean, I've seen pads that cost $50,000 to get into their top tier. I mean, who wants to pay that kind of money? I mean, you're buying at the top. And it's not fair to be able to get the maximum out of the tier or the utility. So we want to make it where it's fair across the board to all holders. And that's one of the few things that makes us different from other pads. Also, an NFT, we've already signed an artist. We'll have a 3D metaverse NFT that we'll be incorporating into the utility. And that NFT will have a use case where whether it be, and we haven't decided which we're going to do, but it'll either give you bonus allocation, it might give you a whitelist spot. There's just so many different things we can do with that. And then also gives us the opportunity if we want to do anything with the metaverse in the future. We'll have staking and farming. We plan on have crow staking. I mean, we really want to, in any project that we bring on, we'll also have single pool staking. We want to make that passive income so it has multiple utilities. And again, something to benefit the investor. Yeah, I think we're screen sharing the utility. Matter of fact, let me share. Give me a second. I'll share the pitch deck in the chat for you guys. There's the pitch deck.
Okay. And so you plan on launching early March? Was that the plan?
Yeah, either early March or late March, early April, actually.
Early April. Okay.
Yeah. And again, the reason being, well, first of all, the market is trash right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be irresponsible, and honestly, I mean, with the volatility that's going on in the market, it's not smart for any project that's looking for long-term to launch. It just isn't, because, I mean, a lot of people are scared to invest in anything. I mean, you see one day Bitcoin's up, next day it's down. The market is just a roller coaster. Plus, we're fine-tuning our utility. We won't launch till our utility is done. And we're extremely picky with our utility. Like I said, we've had 4 sessions of going over and picking our UI for the website. I mean, we're not going to launch until everything works. We like how everything looks. Everything has to be tested. Everything has to go to the test net. I mean, it's just that truly launching a project and doing it the right way isn't a fast process. Like I said, if it was just a simple rewards token or something along that lines, it'd be different. But we want our utility there. So right now our time frame is, like I said, late March, early April.
Yeah.
I mean, any other questions, man? I mean, like I said, we're here. We'll answer anything.
Yeah. I want to let some people in the community ask some questions. I'm just trying to unmute some people.
Yeah, no problem.
If anyone in the community wants to speak, you got opportunity to.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the NFTs that you guys can offer. Do you guys have any intentions on creating an NFT marketplace for the LitBit project?
Honestly, no. I mean, again, just because we're trying to focus on the Launchpad side, we have another utility we're bringing out later as a payment protocol, but we don't want to spread ourselves out too thin. I mean, I don't know where the future will take us. If there's a demand there, and we can meet it in a quality fashion, it might be something we'd look at. I haven't taken a lot of look and done a lot of research on the current marketplaces that are there, and that's something I would have to do.
The NFT marketplaces suck.
well, maybe that's something we need to look at. I mean, and like I said, one thing about us, we're going to be straight up and honest. I haven't looked at the marketplaces on the Cronos chain yet. I haven't even looked at the ones that are cross-chain capable. So it might be something we need to look at.
Okay. And second question, if you don't mind. The NFTs you guys are going to offer. Now, the NFTs are always linked to a URL. Is the URL going to remain inside of the LitBit ecosystem?
That is a good question.
Because when you buy the NFT, sometimes you can buy the NFT with the URL, but that would remove the NFT from the LitBit ecosystem.
Right. And it probably have to stay inside because, like I said, we're using... All right, so...
Can I ask you guys a question, please?
Yeah, let me finish here. Yeah, we'd have to kind of keep the URL inside the ecosystem because, if to my knowledge, and I have to ask my dev, because the utilitizing the NFT, if we're giving, because we're going to be able to stake your NFT and plus the utility it gives to the platform itself. So that is something I'd have to double check into.
Awesome. Well, that's it then for now.
Hey, no problem, man. All right.
I was going to ask, so what makes you different from a lot of projects? Because a lot of projects bang on like NFTs and marketplaces. So I just want to know, like, what marketing strategies you guys will use to appeal to like the target audience.
Okay. Well, number one, we're not a marketplace, and we aren't coming out as a marketplace. We're a launchpad. So now the NFT is nothing more than a utility for that launchpad. So we're not a strictly NFT project or marketplace. The gentleman before you was just asking if we were thinking about marketplace. Marketing wise, I mean, we'll of course do our standard crypto marketing, but we have already got a marketing manager in place, and we're already looking at you going across every social media platform. We have a large fund of what we're bringing in set aside for marketing. There'll be plenty of mainstream marketing, whether it be over socials like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We'll have some influencers, but I'm not a big fan of influencers because a lot of them are just pump and dump. All they're going to do is pump that project so they can dump on it. I mean, that's just how it is. If you see it, you see it every day. But for our utility, what we're doing, if you bring quality projects to the space and they perform, so that benefits your community, that benefits your utility, your token, and your community, the community of whatever project brings out. So that is visible, and of course we know word of mouth in this space. What that'll do is that's marketing in itself. So say our projects that we launch do X's. I mean, it don't matter. If you go look at some of the tier one market or launch pads that we're trying to compete with, these guys post how many X's these projects do. These guys aren't launching 100 projects, like I said, a month. They're launching 100 a year, and some less than that. And they're getting extreme gains. So what that does, that markets for themselves. That means projects are fighting to be on that exclusive launchpad, because we will be exclusive. And like I said, there will be no memes, no reflection. I mean, our is utility only. A project that we launch will have to have utility. It'll have to show us this utility. It'll have to be utilitized at launch.
Okay,
So,
thank you. I was going to ask as well. Sorry to cut you off there. What would the buy and sell tax be? And also, say I had a project. What's like the requirements I need to be able to launch on your launch pad?
All right, the buy and sell. Literally everything is in the pitch deck here. At launch, it'll be 10% on the buy, 12% on sell. Now, our taxes, as we go on and increase our LP, will be lowered. Our goal is to become a zero tax token. We're already in talks with CEX, and again, just talks. We've put our information out there. We plan on getting listed. That's our main push. We don't plan on going on multiple dexes. Our goal is to get on CEX. And we do this, we're going to remove our taxes. As we go in time, our taxes lower. And requirement-wise, like I said, that's going to be a docs to us. That's going to be KYC. I mean, we're going to have to see your contract. Our devs go through your contract. We're going to have to see socials. We're going to have to know these socials have been up, even your website. You can't just go buy a domain name and say, I have a website. There's going to have to be proof of work in order for us to launch a token. And like I said, as an incubating launchpad, we work together. It's cross marketing. It's if we see flaws in pitch decks, websites, anything like that, we advise how to fix these. So like I said, our goal isn't launching multiple projects a day or even a week. It's launching quality projects, and the community is making gains off these projects.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I wanted to make a question about what plans do you have security-wise? I have seen lately some launch pads and stuff getting ragged by some devs and some weird stories, to be honest.
Well, and again, that's because they're hiding. I mean, security-wise, of course, we got vesting. Our wallets are locked. We don't have tokens. As you can see on the schedule, our advisors and our team tokens are locked for a year, but then they're still vested out for another 2.5 years. So we won't be holding tokens. And again, our faces are on our website, on our project, on our podcast. We are doxed to the public.
I'm talking about mostly about hackers or whatever. Are we truly protected?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're dealing with it. We're not, perfect example. We're not some BSC dev hanging out in his mother's basement creating this contract. We have an IT company. Beyondy is creating not only our token contract, our utility, our back-end they have servers on site. This is an IT company doing everything for us. So security-wise, there's no other devs. We can't have multi-sig yet because I haven't found one. I'm hoping by the time we get around launch, Genos Labs offers a multi-sig wallet on the Cronos chain, and we'll have multi-sigs on our wallets. There's no in-house dev that's going to be rugging us. And again, this is why our faces are on our project, because we have to be accountable for what we're doing in this space.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Savage.
What's up, Pablo?
So, have you had any other projects that you've done in the past? I don't know if this has been asked already, but I was in the VC.
No, as in launched, I have not launched a token. No one on my team has launched a token.
So, what targets do you have for launch? Like, what have you set yourself? What do you think this coin can do? What do you think this coin can do at launch?
See, yeah, man, that's the crazy. I don't know. I mean, I can't. It all depends on market. Investors. I don't play the how many X's or any of that because I'm not in this for the X's because I don't have tokens for almost 2 years. So I'm not going to benefit. And it's just, there's no way to say, I mean, plus new chain. How does anyone, I could tell you it's going to 100x, man, but how can anyone answer that question?
I like that.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, I hate when people say that, especially whether it's devs or owners of a project. No one knows. Now, I do know that the way we have our vesting set up, especially for our seed and private, no one can dump on us. All right, we've got the way everything's set is where it's time released, it's low inflation, so that whole pump and dump that you see at initial launch isn't going to happen. It can't, and that's why, as a utility project, we have to do that. Some people don't like Some people don't like vesting, but again, how many times you go and get into a project, 10 minutes after launch, it's under pre-sale.
Yeah, that's true.
Under list, and that happens because you know what, people like to make money, and I like to make money too. But at the end of the day, if a dev or a team is bringing out a project and they want longevity, they have to protect that project and the investors of that project, and that's what vesting does. You have an opportunity because if we do an outstanding launch, you have enough tokens that you can actually cover your initial and make money, and just the rest is just pass. I mean, literally, it can go. You got moon bags.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem, man.
Do you mind if I ask 2 more questions?
Sir, I do not.
Okay. In terms of your launch pad, are you guys looking at anything specific, or is it just going to be like a POS based on the look of it and the tokens you do launch? Is it going to be a specific launch where it's only you guys that are allowed to launch it in the incubator, or is it open to launch on you guys and other launch pads as well?
Okay, so now cooperating with other launch pads, yes, if we think everyone should cooperate together, okay? Again, this space is big enough for everyone. And, of course, the more community you bring into a project, the better the holders, the more holders you have. I mean, its sustainability is longer. So, yes, if the opportunity was there for us to deal with another launch pad, yes, we would definitely do that. Like I said, but when it comes down to the projects that we will have on ours, we will be exclusive about what we offer. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, that totally makes sense. But are you guys looking at proof of work, proof of stake? Does it matter?
What do you mean, token-wise?
Yeah, token-wise, like project-wise.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, proof of work. I mean, I want utility at launch. That's our thing. I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter to me as long as we have a solid utilitized project. What their token or how that token works or what their utility is, if it's a viable utility and it brings positivity to the space, we will deal with it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, maybe while we have the pitch deck up, you can go over the quarters, just explaining what they mean, how it's broken to 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so on the vesting, I'm glad you brought that up. It's shown in quarters, but it's actually a monthly drop also. So, and the reason it's shown in quarters, there's not enough room on the webpage to break it down into months. So that's why you see quarters. So, for example, year 1, Q2 for seed. So seed round is for VCs, venture capitalists. These are the larger investors, long-term investors. I think we have them. They're vested for well over a year. I think it's 14 or 18 months. So their allocation after their 90-day cliff is 23% divided by 4. So they'll get that monthly instead of just once every quarter. And it's the same way with private and the IDO. I don't want you to think that you're only getting tokens once every 3-4 months. You're getting them on a monthly drop. Or claim, depending on how it's set up.
What's the hard cap of the pre-sale?
Actually, it hasn't been released yet because we haven't announced the pre-sale. We should be announcing it in about another week or so as we get closer to launch.
What about the soft cap and the vesting schedule? Is there a max buy?
Yeah. Again, we haven't released the information for the pre-sale. No, we haven't released the soft or hard cap, anything yet. We're waiting until we get closer to launch because that will be done off our launch pad.
Hello, Savage.
Yes, sir.
Will there be anything like buybacks at launch or after launch or anything?
Yeah, we have a buyback marketing wallet, so we do have the ability to do buybacks.
Okay.
How do we get access to the private sale?
You join the community, join our Telegram and whatnot, there's contests and whatnot for whitelisting and things you can, and keep up to date with what we're announcements that will have the opportunity.
So is the private sale same as the pre-sale? Do you fill out the same form for that to get into the private?
Yeah, you've already done that.
Okay. So there's going to be a pre-sale on top of that as well?
Well, there's a private sale, then it's a public IDO. That's the launch. That's the pre-sale. So the last sale, as you can see on the vesting schedule, we have a seed round. That's what's going on now. The IDO is the pre-sale.
Oh, okay.
Because it launches directly after that.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the vesting schedule now. The discount we get for the private sale.
Yeah, the prices are also there. So.
Okay, yes, I see it.
Yeah, the very first column.
Yeah. Okay, you get 5% at launch. Okay. 90-day cliff.
Well, the 90-day cliff, that's for the seed.
The seed, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm checking it now.
Is there a specific marketing condition you guys are going to wait for the launch? I would love to learn more about how the launch is going to work.
Right. Well, I mean, of course, I mean, if the market is down 20%, we're not going to launch because that would be horrible for anybody that's involved in the token or the project.
Is there specific conditions you guys are looking at?
No, not really. Like I said, the main condition is that our utility's done. And already been on testnet, all bugs worked out. We have no issues. So, and that's what I'm saying. That's our time frame for that is the first week, late March, first week of April.
So yeah, guys, I can tell like the project looks solid. It's a solid project. Probably like one of the most like nice projects I've seen on Cronos so far. And obviously right now, Cronos is pretty new. There's a lot of rugs going on. Well, at least we know that this project's not a rug. It's not going to be a rug.
Well, and like I said, and the main thing like here lately on Cronos, just like you're seeing the influx of these reward tokens, which was what you saw about 6-8 months ago on BSC. I mean, it's the same thing. They're not sustainable. Now, they're good if you can get in, they don't rug, and you can make money. They are They're hype tokens. They're meme tokens. They're made for making money, nothing more. They're not sustainable. Anybody that's trying to invest in any of those in the long term, it's not a winning investment.
Looks like that's my really, guys, man. So appreciate you guys coming along.
Oh, no problem, man. And like I said, I mean, we'll be around. We're always,
You're 100%.
Yeah, anytime you got any questions, just DM me, man. Stop in the lounge all the time, say hi. So everyone's welcome over to
Cronos could be the next. Also, we're all early in Cronos, so you never know what can happen in this space, man.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, do a little research and look at some of the tier 1 launch pads in Ethereum and BSC. And you'll see we have a similar, mentality as them of what we're doing. And look at where they're at. And they've been around, same thing. Their longevity. You got Seedify, Polka Starter, DAO Starter. Some of these have been around two and a half years. So these are the ones that are holding. They got a firm foothold in the blockchain. That's what we're looking to do.
Yeah, that's a good vision. So I know Polka Star is very established in the BSC space. Those are higher requirements to get into that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's similar to our goal. And honestly, I was in them in the beginning. I was an early investor in that project and did well. And that's what I've based a lot of our structure for our project on.
Yeah. So does anyone have any more questions, or you off?
Well, I have.